Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Force here, and I'm going to be doing some more Starcraft 2 commentary for you today. This time we will be taking a look at a series between Socke and the Little One. We are here on Shakur's Plateau in the first game of this series. Socke spawning in the upper left-hand position as our yellow Protoss player, and then right over here in the upper right position, we do have the Little One as the red Terran player. Terran versus Protoss, the Little One versus Socke, and this is the first game on Shakur's Plateau. Very, very excited to commentate this game. I've actually been doing quite a few games with the Little One in it, and even Socke as well. Both these players seem to end up in my commentaries quite frequently, and again, obviously, I love the playstyle of both of these guys, so really, really looking forward to seeing how this game ends up playing out. We can, of course, note here that they are in that close air distance position, so this could make for some effective drop harass, possibly even some Void Ray or Phoenix play, or that is very unlikely. That's not the most orthodox of builds that we expect to see from Socke, but it is certainly possible and something to keep in mind as well. Now, in terms of what's going on for today, I have already uploaded the strategy video for today. It was a Terran strategy video that went up. We do have a dual commentary that went up with Cricket Starcraft as well. If you haven't seen those games yet, take a look. There was a couple of games and they were really epic, so certainly something I suggest looking at if you haven't seen yet. Cricket is a phenomenal caster, and I had a great time doing a co-commentary with him. Alright, so we can see Socke moving out across the map right now. He will actually be heading straight to the Little One's position, getting that scout initially. He'll probably get away with a little bit of harass as well early on with that probe, getting a little bit of damage to the Little One's SCV as he attempts to finish building that barracks. So here we go now, Socke moving in, and now the excitement starts. The first 2.5 minutes of the games are always boring, but this worker harass, oh, it's something to talk about, so I love to get excited about it. We've got that first Rax just about finished. Socke trying to move around, although it looks like he will not be doing it much damage at all, and the Little One finally pulling back with those SCVs because he's not in the middle of building anything right now, so he's comfortable waiting just until that Marine finishes. He does have that second depot coming up right in the resource line, and once that finishes, he will lower it so that these SCVs don't have to path around it anymore that are gathering from that mineral patch over there. So there we go, first Marine is out, pushing out the probe scout there for Socke. We do have an SCV scout moving right up into Socke's main base here. He will be bypassing that gateway, sees that it is building a zealot. We should be seeing a stalker follow up immediately after that as well. We have Socke placing the pylon here at the corner of his base. This will allow him to warp in onto the low ground if he decides to go forward with any type of aggression. This will allow him a little bit closer of a warp in. Obviously, I would expect a proxy pylon if that happens as well, but it is just something to note. We have the Little One moving out with that Marine, and he's going to do a little bit of damage to the probe. Don't know if he's going to kill it. Looks like he will. Sandwich between the two Marines. Socke losing the worker, and then immediately the Little One dropping the expansion. Looks like he did open up with those two Marines, and I see the tech lab. Are we going to see a Reaper as well? No. Just will be actually coming out with a Marauder early on. Doesn't have concussive shell coming yet, but just going to be sticking with a few early Marines and Marauders, just that Bioforce as early game defense, and then coming up with this expansion. We do probably expect at least a bunker, one at least, to come up for the Little One to provide himself some early defense against any type of pressure we may be seeing. Already Zealot moving across the map for Socke, and have to micro around these Marines. Doesn't want to try to take any damage if at all possible. Very nice micro there by the Little One. Now we do have the Stalker coming up, and will Socke choose to continue forward and engage? Looks like he is, or is he microing? Whoa! Stalker getting out dangerously close there, taking a little bit of extra damage. Ended up losing a bit of his life. The shields will, of course, recharge, but that life is gone for good. Socke is now aware of the fact that the Little One apparently is going for an expansion, and he himself will be coming out just sticking to the one gate. Has that Nexus coming on through as well, so both players opting for that quick expand. And we do have the Little One, of course, transitioning into bio-heavy idle SCV. That's never good. Get to work. Start building that refinery. That's going to allow him to take up to the factory in Starport, start to get out those medevacs. And also we would, of course, like to see some upgrades here for the Little One. If nothing else, get that Stimpack research going, concussive shell as well, and then eventually the combat shields. Now, the Little One would expect him to go somewhat Marauder heavy. That is the typical composition of choice with Bio, given that the Marauders are so very strong against those gateway units of a Protoss opponent. But we will have to see what Socke decides to transition into. A nice little scan there going down, confirming the expansion, realizing, hey, there's not a whole heck of a lot else going on. And actually, the Little One may attempt to try to move out right now. At the same time, the little one attempting to take that third expansion. I don't have to tell you guys how risky that is. Must be pretty evident right now. That is a big, big risk indeed, and the little one could certainly reap the benefits if he manages to protect this. But if we see any sort of two base timing push here from Socke, then that could really ruin the little one's day. We have a robotics coming out. That will, of course, be starting out with that observer to get a scout of the little one's base, and also an additional gateway coming on through as well. So Socke still hasn't really made that determination as to what he's going to be going for. I wouldn't be too surprised if he worked up into Colossus, though. That's certainly going to do pretty well against the bio composition that we do have for the little one. But again, this expansion, incredibly risky, and the little one, if he doesn't end up defending this, he's going to be in a horrible position. Back over here inside of the main base, we do have another axe coming out, finally dropping that factory, and we've got the research coming stim pack as well as that concussive shell. Combat shield not in place yet. One scouting marauder actually pushing forward a little bit, trying to get that little extra bump of vision beyond where these towers are giving him, and that's going to let him see. And actually, he will be moving down and attempting to check that third expansion. He wants to know if Socke's still on 2 bases or if he has moved into a third. Also moving up here, and we will be seeing him push out with that Reaper. This will be primarily for scouting. He may be able to kill off a worker or two, but not too much. Observer Scout moving across the map, and here comes the scouting right now of the Reaper. He will see the 3 gateways. He will see the robotics. He's looking for a bay. He wants to see if there's a bay, but as we already know, there is no robotics bay at the moment for Socke. So the little one finally pushing back as that stalker came into the engagement. Observer Scout is somewhere over here. There it is. Observer Scout moving on through, and he's spotting all those production buildings, very racks heavy, and he's of course going to see that starport building as well as that reactor. So now he knows precisely what to expect. Bio and medevac. You expect that anyways when you come up against a Terran opponent when you are Protoss, but it's always nice to confirm there are various other builds that can be effective as well. You'd also want to check for any sort of timing pushes, but it looks like we're just seeing the little one go pretty bio heavy and again transition into medevacs. Wouldn't be too surprised once he gets a couple medevacs out and he has the stim pack, the combat shield, and the concussive shells. Wouldn't be too surprised if the little one does decide to push out. We do finally have a robotics bay coming on through, and that is right there. That's going to allow Socke to move up into Colossus. Marauder will be scouting out if Socke attempts to move into that third expansion. Observer Scout chilling out over here. Another one over here as well. We'll be spotting the little one destroying these rocks, and this may be a possible expansion for the little one later on down the road. But again, keep in mind, Socke is still on 2 bases, so is he going to stick on these 2 and try to go for a nice, strong 2-base push? That is certainly quite possible. He's sitting, he's got 4 gateways at the moment, and there's that forge will allow him to start those upgrades. And again, finally getting some saturation on this expansion, but look at this, Socke moving on out with the scouting observer. Will be spotting this expansion right now for the little one. At this point in the game, Socke knows, all right, I'm going to have to do some damage at some point soon, because if I let the little one sit on this third base for very long, then he's going to get a tremendous economic advantage, and I will be very far behind. So Socke may wait till he gets about a Colossus or 2 and then eventually push out. Unfortunately, so far this game hasn't been all that exciting. Not a lot of action or harass from either player. Again, both players just macroing up, working their way into the mid and late game and trying to get a very strong force. And wonderful, with that observer placement, we will be seeing Socke spotting that medevac liftoff. They should allow him to be prepared for it. Is he going to catch it in transit? It looks like he is going to, and the little one taking some losses here. Will be almost losing the medevac, losing some of his bio as well, and forced to push back as we are seeing Socke make his move across the map. Again, he realizes that with the third expansion, the little one will be starting to get a strong economic advantage, dropping another medevac that was rallied. Unfortunately, the little one didn't manage to pull him back. We've got a few Marines, and the little one needs to engage at some point, but he's feeling on the ropes right now. This is a strong push from Socke. He's still just on those 2 bases, but he worked up a very strong force. Very, very nice force fields dropping, splitting the little one's army in half. Doing tremendous work right now. Just the 1 Colossus push, but this is proven to be quite potent right now. The little one trying to get a nice concave, doing what he can to work through those gateway units of Socke, but Socke, the damage from that Colossus just tearing through this bio, and looks like he's going to start to mop up here. Socke, absolutely phenomenal, has gotten rid of a lot of the little one's army. He's still got quite a bit left. Where is it, though? That is the question. We're going to be seeing Socke move up into that expansion. Looks like we're seeing a Reaper move on up. We'll be trying to do a little bit of economic harass as we do see Socke push across into the little one's third. Here's the rest of the army for the little one to get some Vikings in play to deal with that Colossus. We'll be forcing the liftoff, though, so the little one had to stop mining over here. They're trying to get a few more weapons of Stalkers right now. Stimmed up Marauders and Marines, trying to snipe them out before they come in. Another Colossus. That will get taken out out very quickly. The little one continues to move across the map, trying to push away from the very strong force here of Socke. It's a bit too much for him to handle right now, and will we see him turn around? I would expect him to turn around and try to take out this Expo, or move right into the natural, especially given the fact that the little one's forces are dead center in the middle of the map. Vikings force back from all the anti-air, trying to do what they can to the Colossus, and here we go, the little one not able to mine at this expansion. He's invested so many resources in it. That is a tremendous loss. Let's take a look so far at the resources lost tab, and yes, so far the little one is quite a bit behind as expected, and finally Socke moving up into that natural expansion, force field, and trying to prevent us around and prevent those SCVs from doing too much. We got units moving up for the backside. Socke forced a micro right now. We are getting a full surround by the little one, but I don't think it's going to be enough right now. Socke just has a very strong force. There is some more bio pushing forward, provide the buffer with his gateway units, and then allow that Colossus to do a lot of damage. There's really been no countermeasure at all from the little one, and at the same time, Socke has dropped his Nexus over here. One Marauder going to town on that. Doesn't matter. A couple of units will be pushed down, and they will manage to take that out. And right now, Socke is in a fantastic league. Look at this, 21 workers killed thus far. We're seeing some more Marauders attempt to do what they can, but some nice micro there from Socke, keeping that Colossus out of harm's way. This one will get taken out, though. Stimmed up Marauder sniping down that Colossus, but again, I really don't think it matters. It really seems like Socke is just in too far at advantage right now. He's got way too much of an advantage right now against the little one, and I don't really know what the little one's going to be able to do. He is attempting to push up into this expansion right now. A couple Marauders moving forward. They will be doing a little bit of damage. I don't expect them to snipe it, though. It is quite possible. It is pretty low right now. No shields left, and Socke may be losing this expansion. That would not be good. Socke does not want to lose this. Does he manage to save it? No, he doesn't. The Nexus gets taken out, but he does take care of the rest of those Marauders. And let's take a look right now. Still, though, the little one quite a bit behind, and economically we can see how many more workers Socke has killed than the little one. Let's also take a look at the income tab. The little one does have a huge mineral advantage right now. I'm going to assume that's from a lot of mules that got called down. That's the only thing that could really explain it. He's actually forced to repair this now, and that is realize some mineral loss. It does cost resources to repair. The fact that this was burning and that he forced a repair is something else that, again, sets the little one a little bit behind. The little one's still trying to fend for his life, though. He is not giving up, even though Socke has a superior force at the moment, trying to micro back and do what he can. But this looks like it might be at Socke pushing with a very, very strong push. At the same time, we do have him moving into that third expansion right now. The Natural's starting to look to be in a little bit of danger right now for the little one, stopping him from moving up. He can lift off, but he doesn't want to do that because those medevacs will get sniped out. We get a Viking up on the high ground. That will be trying to snipe down these Colossus. Colossus microing back, though, forcing the little one to call the GG. We saw the little one open up this game with a 1-Rax into quick expand. After scouting out the little one's expand, we also saw Socke move into 1 gate into Nexus as well. The little one then got control of the center of the map and moved into his 3rd expansion. Socke did manage to scout out the 3rd, and realizing that the little one had spread himself thin, pushed out with 2 base push. Upon getting his first Colossus and still on 2 bases, we saw Socke move across the map towards the little one's 3rd. Due to the little one spending resources on getting that 3rd up and running, he just did not have forces to contend with what Socke pushed out with, and Socke was able to overwhelm a majority of what the little one had and do tremendous amounts of damage. After taking out most of the little one's forces, Socke pushed out against the 3rd and forced the little one to lift off, effectively stopping his mining and setting him back. The little one was able to prevent Socke from killing him outright after stopping him mining from the 3rd. However, as a result, he had to pull down with SCVs and ended up taking even more economic damage, setting him further behind. The little one was able to push out against Socke's 3rd and quickly snipe that down. However, he was already so far behind that it didn't make that much of a difference. Socke then moved out for what was the final engagement. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching. This was the first game in the series here between Socke and the little one. We will be moving on to game number 2 in just one moment. As always, if you guys like the content, please subscribe. Thank you for watching. Keep watching and keep owning.